as we're at the casino, I'm just.
That though. I would 100% believe that.
Ooh. Next time.
Anyway, hi and welcome to the after show.
Oh, hi.
Thanks for the warning, Thomas. Great count-in.
We're just going to talk about Animal Crossing for this one.
Let's talk. It's time to talk about Alundra. She's not here.
The person who can do no wrong.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, did Total Party Chill just go offline too
Of course
at the same time?
Yeah, come on. Or then they try to rate us.
It works.
Okay, vamping. Whoa, hey, look, it's
Alundra. Welcome back.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alundra.
Sorry, y'all. I had a screaming cat and I needed to make sure he wasn't actually dying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Figuratively dying.
He's fine. He's just mad because my parents aren't home, who are his favorite people in the world. That's all.
I 100% agree with your call, Tiana, but that gang just has to be hating themselves. The leader of that gang is getting challenged. This is how the gang fights start, because he's like, everyone else is like, that was an 8-year-old. And the leader is like the smart one, like an 8-year-old speaking Infernal who kept telling us how much money he had. Clearly a trap. And there's some 25-year-olds like, we should have taken him. But again, no mugging has ever been. Every RPG has a we're gonna mug you as the opening scene, and four tough. They die immediately. It's just no mugging has ever been successful.
Because human commoners have 4 hit points and human bandits have 6. So even a party of level 1s, if you have more than one person in your party, can probably take them.
And I mean, admittedly, there were only 2 of you, and I probably could have knocked you both unconscious. That, again, would have been combat for combat's sake, even though you guys were definitely dancing around, waving the middle finger at me for that one.
I mean, if they were in an alleyway and it was a direct line, I was going to spew acid on them.
Whoa.
Of course you were.
Of course.
Is that what the rotten food is for?
Nah.
You're just going to go heckle a bard?
That's so he can sequence all of our DNA and create clones. Whoa, ring light going out.
Awesome. No ring light, stay.
Nope.
There you go. Ooh.
Is it battery powered?
It's not. It plugs in, but it must be hooked up to wave, because it has a remote, and I think other things can set it off.
That's funny.
It's just judging your choices.
It will randomly turn on, and yeah.
We have a neighbor who connects to our TV thing is on Bluetooth, and we have a neighbor that will connect to it, and every once in a while, smooth jazz will start coming out of our. How's that?
I actually had a neighbor who had a Roku, and I had permission to connect to his Roku specifically because he would fall asleep with the TV on, and we shared a wall, and I would be like, "That is very loud." Open the app. Pause.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, Tiana, you ran into the buzzsaw that every GM has to deal with. That was, we haven't played together in a month, and none of us remember what we're doing. So we're just going to be ridiculous for 3 hours. And
you're assuming that you lot are never ridiculous.
Yeah, I was gonna say this seemed pretty normal for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we actually got to Baldur's Gate, so
there was quite a bit of plot that happened here. We learned about characters, some secrets. We made some money.
We met Janice and Beatrice.
I was trying so hard not to die. I was like, oh, I love that James is doing the reverse, because the DM's curses, I was like, what's their name, or what's the name of the store, the tavern, whatever. And so I was like, oh, I actually kind of appreciate the fact that James is trying to do the reverse of he's just assigning names to people and things so that Tiana can either correct him or just roll with it.
I'm totally
depending
fine
on
with
if it's
rolling with it.
Well, because it depends if it's is this a canon NPC that we're going to have to deal with through the entire module, or is this just a rando? Because if it's just a rando, yep, okay, that's Janice now. She's great.
And Beatrice has a really lovely deep voice.
Yeah,
I've lived a little.
Yeah, it's a slow night, eh?
Look,
honestly, one of the things that I was planning to do, because I knew you guys were going to I knew you guys were going to go to the casino because you're going to go and meet with the cousin. I was going to look up games of chance in D&D and actually like do a thing with it, and then I didn't.
That's okay.
Oh, it's fine.
It's
Yeah.
been a very busy month.
yeah.
I when Three Dragon Ante came out, the small little card game. They're like, yeah, you can use it in your D&D game. You just in the middle of your D&D game, go to a tavern, and then you
Play
can
cards
all
for 30
play
minutes.
this game. Really? No.
Yeah.
Although we
Yeah.
did have a session in our home game that Thomas and I played in where we just played poker for a whole, and like when you won a hand, you got to ask a question of this omnipotent being.
Ooh,
That's fun.
that is fun.
Mhm.
I've definitely done carnival games in my home games before, and I had varying things. Most of them involved like different types of skill checks,
Sure.
because the
Yeah.
idea was then the characters could
Mm.
go to the appropriate type of game that they felt like they would succeed at if they wanted to. Weirdly, my home game group did not really want to risk it. So I was like, okay, I'm glad I did all this prep for you guys to
Oh.
just not like, and that's fine. I mean, player directed games is how I like to play personally. So
Yeah.
In my
Hmm.
games of chance are just below offered drinks in terms of things the players avoid. They just automatically assume that like whoever they're playing with is the ultimate card sharp and is going to like destroy them.
Well, the nice thing about playing games of chance in the Goddess of Luck's temple is that you don't fuck with that by cheating. Because if you do, you will have a losing streak that lasts 100 years. Luck is one thing, cheating is another, and Timora does not like that cheat.
Mhm.
no, that's her sister's domain.
And by doing that, you're invoking her sister in her temple.
This is one of my favorite pieces of D&D lore is the Taiki Timura Bashaba whole structure. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna just mess with this because I actually know the lore behind this. Cool.
I love it. I love, and that's something that I love about, playing in a world with established lore is being able to do stuff like that, where it's like there's a shared piece of knowledge and you can use it to play off of or ignore it, as the case may be. I enjoy that sort of thing.
I've tried to read God deity entries in books before several times.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
It's very much sloth
Yes.
begot the giant sloth, and I'm like,
I'm someone who reads the Silmarillion for fun.
Yeah, when you get into like, and then this god who hates this god because his sister was, I mean, I'll stick to like Greek or Norse myths, and then I know I've already learned those, so I don't have to relearn like different versions of them. That's
Norse myths are fun.
oh yeah.
Oh,
When I was a
Yeah.
kid, my favorite book was that Delauer's book of Norse myths.
Yes, that was such a
Yeah.
good book.
I
Mhm.
love it. I think I
Mhm.
still have it somewhere, but I have run several games inspired by Norse myths before. Just
I mean, there's so much to pull from.
yeah.
You want to hear a fun one with Loki in it? Like a real
Mhm. Always. Go on.
Okay, so basically Loki, he tricked, oh god, whoever was the caretaker of the tree of forever fruit ship.
The world tree.
Yes.
Yggdrasil. Yep.
To go outside of the walls of oh wow, I'm forgetting stuff.
That's
Anyway, so that goddess
yada
gets
yada
taken-
yada.
Cool
gets
story,
taken
bro.
by a giant. Loki is told to go get her back. He comes back. The giant flies into a giant firewall. Turns out that giant had a daughter. And to cheer up the daughter, the gods tried multiple things. And Loki was like, you know what? I know what's going to cheer you up. Strips down naked. He ties a rope around his balls, ties a rope around some goat balls, and then they do a tug of war.
That sounds about right.
fun.
Honestly, that sounds correct.
That's very
for-
Loki. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Norse
and it cheered
myths.
her up.
Sorry, Wuya, by the way, I less altered self on himself right when he stepped out of the door. So
Yeah.
No apologies. We knew that was potentially coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
I-
either
I
altered
was-
self or disguised self, and I was like, nah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I was asking for rolls in a private chat, so he rolled quite well on a stealth check, and then had ultra self on himself, and I'm like, you're not gonna see him with a 13 perception. I'm sorry.
Although the
And unfortunately,
mint julep thing almost worked.
I should have used a. Oh no, I did use a luck.
If I'd
roll
failed
for
that wisdom save, it would have worked.
I will say the thing, like, this is maybe a personal thing, but it was interesting because I feel like Sabachthani has had a lot of like being off on her own bits in this campaign so far. So I was actually really glad that Lester succeeded and was off on his own, because the other alternative was you all chase him down because you were all together. At which point Sabachthani was going to be like, fuck, everyone's gone, and was going to go talk to her cousin and get all the information by herself again.
That's
and
true.
I was like, I don't want this to become like the group and then this one rando who's always off doing things. So personally, I thought it was like a fun variation on the theme, but
and I liked that we didn't see Les's scene. I think it'll pay off for it to come much later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I actually need to make some notes for myself about the consequences.
Actions have consequences. My favorite part of D&D that no one likes to talk about.
Sorry, Wuya.
Oh yeah, we have just throwing a bunch of actions out there and waiting for the consequences to happen.
That's why we didn't get attacked. They're like, oh my God, you see the taller version of that kid just killed somebody?
You never got attacked. There was never a rumble. Like centuries later, we never get West Side Story because
That's
that rumble never happened.
I think our new goal is to like go this entire thing and not have a fight. We're gonna have the first D&D campaign with no combat in it.
Well,
ever.
you've already had combat.
Yeah, we've killed quite a few books
From
by
now
now.
on.
We
From
have
now on.
also, though, infamously not had combat, like multiple times where we've talked our way out of things that should have been a combat encounter.
Well, and also on the way to Baldur's Gate on the fourth night, you were supposed to camp and you were supposed to be attacked. And it doesn't really tie into the larger story, and that just annoys me. So
Damage.
yeah, I mean, it kind of tied in a little bit, but
The world's a dangerous place.
but it annoyed me. So I sent you to Hufflepuff Inn instead.
It'll be much more interesting. Like, I'm kind of with you on this. I don't like combat just for combat's sake, but I think like once we're a few levels ahead, and especially given all of the shenanigans that we each individually have going on with our backstories, I think it'll be much more interesting when in a few episodes we get randomly attacked and it turns out it's not random.
Well, and that is more interesting in my opinion, because then it's like your actions are coming back to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
Who knows who this Sarai lady is? Like that's.
Did anybody hear that honking sound just now?
Oh shit!
The goose hired them.
Humans.
The goose hired them.
Look, I don't know who hired us. I just saw some feathers.
An orange bill.
and a most dolorous yonk.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Dropped a thing of coins.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
assuming that we don't have anything else to rag off on today, thank you all so much for joining us, dear Patreon friends, for this little look behind the curtain. We're delighted to be back and looking forward to playing more games. So thank you all so much, and we will see you next time.
I have to do something.